Broadway's hottest tickets are right here each and every week on The Broadway Show. I'm Tamsin Fidel. I'm so glad to have you with us. Let's go ahead and send it out to Paul Wontorek.
How does it feel to be here at the Circle in the Square Theater, which you've actually performed in before?
I have.
But you are going to be running the joint as Bobby Darin and just in time. I mean, how does it feel to be in this space knowing what's ahead of you?
It feels right. It feels like the right time. It's been 10 years since I've been on a Broadway stage. I have a real love for this theater. My second Broadway show was Rocky Horror Show, and that was here. And
You were one of the, are they called Phantoms?
Phantoms,
yeah.
I was, doing a very different show.
This space is so perfect for this show, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I love seeing Just in Time in this space.
Yeah.
What was it like for you the first time you sat in the audience and watched this show?
It was interesting because, you know, they offered me this show, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go check it out and see it. And I watched this show, and I was so blown away by it, but a little too much in the fact that I was like, wait a minute, because I'm doing this for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, am I going to learn all of this for 3 weeks? And then I said to myself, you know what? Yeah, I would do this for 3 days.
Oh,
It is such a special show, and this is such a special moment. And there honestly aren't roles like this that come around very often. So I'm very excited to sink my teeth into it.
Obviously, Mr. Groff, Jonathan Groff, friend of yours.
I've heard of him, yeah.
Yes, has created this special thing here, right, with audiences. And what is it like watching that? And how do you feel about, you're really like working the room? I mean, when I say that, I mean it for real.
You know, so I don't know if you know this, but this is the first time I've ever replaced someone in the show.
Wow.
So for me, this has been a different experience.
Sure.
You know, I'm used to being on the ground floor and creating, but honestly, to take over Jonathan's very, very big shoes to fill is such an honor because he is a friend. He is a beast in this show.
Yeah.
And someone I'm just like, wow, he laid the map so perfectly that it actually takes less of the work off of me. I mean, it's a lot of work to do the show and jump in and get the cardio and all the things, but he has done such a beautiful job at, I'm stealing so many of his bits because I'm gonna try to bring my own, and I was like, whoa, I like that. Oh, I could do it, but I like that. But yeah, to work this room and this space is, they call it an immersive show, and I feel it's very immersed. I feel like we're in it with the audience.
Yeah.
And there's some beautiful lines in this show where it's like, I wanna just make a connection, see your eyes out there in the dark and make a connection. And that's what we're here for. So I'm here for it.
You actually get to come on stage as Matthew Morrison, just as Mr. Jonathan Groff does, and Jeremy Jordan will be doing after you.
Yep.
Because the concept is that you sort of come out as yourself for the opening number, and you talk as yourself. So I believe the script will be adjusted for you.
Yeah, Isaac, he wrote like a great intro for me. I'm very excited to kind of tackle that. And it talks about my history with this theater.
Oh, cool.
And it talks about, me, not having been on a Broadway stage in 10 years.
Cool.
So,
Yes,
but this is home, it feels good to be home.
Obviously, the music you get to do in this show is incredible.
Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're really excited just to do? Have you ever done any of these songs before?
I've never done any of these songs before. I've had friends who have seen this show and they're like, they text me, they're like, this is like so up your alley. These are the songs that I love to sing. And I'm a crooner, I'm a song and dance man. So I feel like this show really fits me like a glove. So I'm excited to put my mark on it.
Well, there's the voice, right? And then there's the physicality of the role. Have you learned Splish Splash?
I have, yeah.
The iconic Splish Splash choreography by Shannon Lewis. Have you done it?
I have. The thing I need to work on is the cardio. It's just like, it's such a beast of, I can do all the dancing and the singing, but like putting them together and then finishing the thing on this long held note with a rubber ducky in my hand, it's like, woo, I'm huffing puffing. And then on top of that, right after that, I go into a monologue. I'm like, can you just give me a chance to breathe here? It's crazy, but I'm thrilled to be here. This is so exciting for me. I've been away for 10 years. I feel like I have lived my life. I became a dad.
Yeah.
I'm coming back with such a different kind of energy, and I've slowed down a lot. And for me, this doesn't feel like I have to prove anything. It feels like more like a thank you to just this community.
So you're really living the Bobby Darin message.
I really am.
You really are living in the moment.
Yeah.
It's perfect for you.
Once in this lifetime.
Cats, the JELLICLE BALL is on Broadway this spring. It's a ball culture-inspired take on Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical. We got to know the stars.
At a time when it seems that all of society is at its wits' end, what we're bringing is a fresh supply of wit. Broadway's going to be refreshed, and we're going to go nuts.
To be able to celebrate ballroom where we're from on Broadway, to shine light on a disenfranchised people who made well of what they had, and to be able to actually live in our truth and actually bring those characters and integrate them with ourselves.
It's so much fun. It allows us to not just stay in our pocket, but it challenges us as well to see what we can do with other bodies, you know what I'm saying, as well too, and what they can do. So it's a shared relationship. It's a shared agreement, you know what I'm saying, of how us as choreographers can make what you do even better, even more special, or really get you to like expand and dig deeper into the choreography for your character.
I think because they are so multifaceted, we can play, like we were saying, with them and push them even further because they're already so good. Like the moves are full body moves, and a lot of people aren't used to that. So the fact that they are trying and playing is a great service.
There's two sayings that you're invited to the ball, but once you hit the floor, you better own it and make sure, you step fullness in who you are. And so I think you can carry those lessons into real life as well.
Coming to see Cats is like getting 100 hugs because you leave there so spiritually full. Whether you're a spiritual or religious person or not, theater is church and is for the people. And when you leave, you feel like, oh my God, that touched me.
Oh, Mary is Broadway's reigning queen of comedy. So let's send it out to Charlie.
All right, Tony, we're walking to work today.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I guess so. I guess we do have to go to work, don't we? I'm super excited to just hear more about your role in Oh, Mary, which is just incredible, hilarious.
Thank you.
All of the things. So why don't we start walking?
Yeah, all right, let's go.
One thing that I laughed about when I saw your character's name, which is Mary's husband's assistant.
Yes.
It makes you think of someone who's kind of in the background, but you were able to make it your own. Can you kind of talk about that and making that character that maybe feels a little more like behind the scenes come to life in a different way?
Yeah, I mean, I love the way that the characters are like billed like that because it's like everyone is through the prism of Mary. Like in this world, she is like God essentially, which is kind of beautiful and in a way that she doesn't get to be centered in any other story. So I like that that's the way he's like described and how everyone's described. And then that thing about being like someone who's normally in the background but gets to like pop in these moments is like, I always like just like looked at those like historical dramas where there's like a really earnest, like self-serious, like army of, I don't know, like soldiers or generals or like random military men, and they're in like every type of bad historical drama. And like they take it so seriously, and these actors acting so hard with their like 10 lines, and I'm like, okay.
This show is so silly, but then at the same time, like Pulitzer Prize, like.
Yeah, I don't reconcile with that. I think it's crazy. Yeah, like everyone who's ever been involved with the show says this all the time, but we all are just in shock still. Like this was supposed to be like literally 12 weeks downtown, and I'm here 2 years later. So I don't know. It's absolutely insane that it's gone where it's gone.
What's also really interesting is that like there are some serious things happening in the midst of the show. I mean, a civil war.
Yeah.
And yet, like all of these wild shenanigans as well. Can you kind of talk about like that juxtaposition there?
I think Sam said something, the director Sam Pinkleton, when we were first rehearsing, always said that everyone in this play is in a state of emergency. So Mary's husband, or Lincoln, is in the emergency of the Civil War, and my character's in the emergency of serving this high-strung, impossible man, and Mary's in the emergency of trying to fulfill her dream of doing cabaret, you know what I mean? So like, and all of these are given equal weight. So to your point, like the Civil War and cabaret are actual equals in this play, which is, again, insane.
Does who plays Mary kind of change the show completely?
Literally entirely, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and it's funny because honestly, most of my scenes are with Mary's husband, more than with Mary even, except for a moment at the end. But who Mary is like dictates the energy in the room entirely. So even though it has been going on a long time and I've been it for a long time, the energy shift with whoever's playing Mary does like truly change the show in like its entirety, like from the beginning to the end, just based on that person's like specific idiosyncrasies. It changes everything.
You have a really special number at the very end. What's that like for you? And I don't want to give any spoilers away.
Yeah,
but
not
it's
to
something
reveal
worth
too much.
staying all show for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's the part of the show that I look forward to the most, is the end every single time. And not to emphasize this too much, but like, it's the time of the show where whoever's playing Mary gets the most freedom to interpret the play in their own way. And so watching and responding and reacting and creating that moment with the Mary of the moment is so joyous and like beautiful and set to their personalities in this lovely way. So
I love that. Well, look who's on the door. It looks like we've made it to work.
You know, 2 years ago, so.
Oh my God, you haven't aged
Be gentle,
a bit.
yeah, all right. But,
Thank you so much, Tony, for letting us walk you to work.
thank you, thanks for
Right
taking me,
away.
yeah. All right, bye guys.
Death Becomes Her is alive on Broadway and audiences are drinking the potion. It's a hilarious musical about the ultimate diva showdown. Here's Beth Stevens with another edition of Building Broadway.
You are a busy person and you have 2 musical comedies, one coming to Broadway, one in its second year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Death Becomes Her. What is it like for you to see a show that's settled in, has it into its run, and now you get to revisit it and see how audiences are experiencing it?
It's truly one of the best things because especially in these times right now, it's just everyone needs to laugh. We all need to laugh. And sometimes I'll just walk by the theater, go in for 40 minutes just to hear the audience. The crowds just go crazy every show and it's like a party in there. And you know, for 2.5 hours they get whisked away. And we're not trying to teach lessons. It's just fun, funny, campy, just humor. And the cast is so great, and even in the second year, like, they still find new things. It's the kind of show where there is so much play in what has been set up that I'll go back and they're still trying new things and they're still cracking me up and cracking each other up on stage. And it just feels very alive.
And now you have a new star, Betsy Wolfe.
Yes.
What is it like to sort of surgically insert someone who has a following, has a name, has a lot of accolades into a tight ensemble?
You know, well, she's a total pro and she's incredible in her own right. So, you know, I love rebuilding things with new people because everyone brings their own special gifts to the party, and she has like different gifts than Megan. And so we were like retooling things and making it retrofitted for Betsy, and it's great. And that's why I love theater so much, because it's alive and it's present and it's in the moment, and you can have Megan one week and then Betsy the next, and it's still the same incredible show, but it's different in great ways because it's going to be a slightly different interpretation. And that I just think it's what makes theater.
And you came up as a Broadway dancer.
Yes.
And now a lot of the people that you came up with are leading choreographers and directors.
Yeah.
Tell me what it means to you to be able to have a dance ensemble and what it means to build one.
I think, well, it means a lot in that I've been there. Like, I can literally say, like, I've been there, I've been in your shoes, and I have great empathy for them. And I tell every company I work with that, you know, I don't want this to be your last show. I want to do things that are sustainable 8 times a week. I want them.
Meaning it's hard on bodies.
Hard on the bodies, yeah. Because it is what you're asked to do 8 times a week plus possibly rehearsals, and you know, they have to warm up before the show, and it's a lot to take care of this instrument. I'm very aware of what that means. So I really try to take that into consideration when building a show, that they can do it and can sustain in a way that they can be full out and enjoy it and feel proud of what they're doing without hurting them. To me, it's all about telling the story. Like, dance is about telling story through movement. And And there are so many different ways to do that because, well, obviously there are different choreographers and you give any one of us a piece and we're all gonna do it differently. Like you build a vocabulary, but I'm never precious about like, well, it has to be this step because it has to be this step. It could be many different steps, and also like what's gonna look good on this group of people and what's gonna feel good and what can they do with those steps to maybe mix it up every few shows to like give it a new spin. So it's creating something that can live and breathe and have them enjoy it and interpret it in a way that doesn't ever feel like rigid.
Hi, my name is Jordan Fisher, and I am currently in Little Shop of Horrors down on Skid Row. It is my deepest, greatest pleasure to talk about, I can't even believe that I can say this, my friend, Lillias White, Auntie Lil to my son, Auntie Lil to me, and to my wife. To a lot of people, really. She is somebody that I think a lot of people don't know that they know until they're like, oh, that is that person. That's Lillias. There has been a continuity in her ability to perform at the level that she's been able to do that across so many different mediums and it be just as impactful. It didn't occur to me that she would still be in the show. And then she extended her contract and I fell out of my chair. I fell out of my chair. I was like, I don't even know how to like truly process this other than like I hope and pray that everything that I've heard about this woman is indeed correct. And sure enough, I was greeted with, hey baby, come here, and a big hug. I almost start crying. The way that you should greet people, especially when they're doing a scary thing and coming into a very well-loved, very well-oiled machine. To me, she's just an absolute masterclass in how to receive people, how to love people, how to support people, genuinely, no matter what show she's in, no matter like what state of dress or undress she's in, knock on the door, come in, baby. And that's not surprising to me, only because I know her now, but it's also not surprising to me from humanity's perspective, because that is how it should be done.
Welcome back to the Broadway Show. I'm Tamsin Fidel, so let's get back to it. For more than 35 years, Manhattan Theater Club has been connecting students to live theater in meaningful and lasting ways. It's a Lights Up program sponsored by the John Gore Foundation, offering students access to some of New York's most celebrated productions. But it doesn't stop there. Before ever setting foot in the theater, students spend weeks working with MTC teaching artists in their classrooms, exploring the play's themes, stepping into scenes, and creating work of their own.
It's great to see how the students see how the play lives on the page. Then when they come see the play, they see how actors bring their own interpretation, a director's vision, the design elements, and how they bring the play to life. So I always tell them a play is a three-dimensional piece of art.
I often have a couple of students in that class who have, maybe in other classes, they look like poor readers or poor writers, but they have an ear for dialogue, or they have a dramatic sense of storytelling, or they understand human psychology, and their plays are very exciting to the class, and their plays are very honored by the actors, and they just feel that they have something really worthwhile to contribute.
By the time they arrive for a matinee performance, they're experts on theater.
I really enjoyed the show. I feel like it was very unique to see different languages and cultures and how they all interacted as one, especially it all being women. I found that really fascinating. And also I like seeing myself represented since I'm also Honduran and I was a Honduran character. And I just really enjoyed seeing the different cultures combined.
I also thought that it was really unique because based on what we did, I've never had a scenario where we would have to do so much improvisation. And I thought that it was really good because it made us think more creatively and use our own mindsets to do anything or any acting that we could in any way.
Every year, Lights Up reaches roughly 1,500 New York City students. Now, MTC is expanding that impact beyond the city with the new Lights Up Library, which will make select productions and classroom resources available to high schools around the world at no cost. That's all for now, but for tickets and more exclusive content, you can head over to Broadway.com. Until next time, I'm Tamsin Fidel, and this is The Broadway Show.